The Susan G. Komen Foundation reversed its decision to cut grants given to Planned Parenthood. Earlier this week, the Komen Foundation decided not to renew their partnership with Planned Parenthood. The reason being is unknown. However, there is the belief that this was due to the investigation of Planned Parenthood brought on by a Republican congressman. The past 5 years of grants by the Komen Foundation have supported 170,000 screenings. 26 Senate Democrats signed a letter asking Komen to reconsider its decision. On Friday, the foundation reversed its decision and apologized for casting doubt on the American people that the Komen Foundation was less than 100% committed to saving women's lives. 15 teenagers, including 14 girls, 1 boy, and one 36-year-old woman, all developed twitches last fall in the town of Leroy, New York. These twitches and verbal tics all began during the same time period of October and now have been occurring for over 3 months. This medical phenomenon has attracted activist and investigator Erin Brockovich. Her associate believed the illnesses are related to the TCE that was spilled in a train wreck in December of 1970. Other doctors have diagnosed them with a conversion disorder, saying that stress is the root of the problem. But this does not explain why the tics all began at the same time, or why the majority of the sick are all women. The High School of Leroy, as well as the EPA and New York Department of Health and Environmental Conservation, say they already tested the area and found nothing to blame for this medical mystery. They were arrested in the occupied D.C. camp after a police raid. This raid is the result of a federal judge rejecting an occupied D.C. demonstrators' request to keep park police from enforcing a ban on camping in McPherson Park near Freedom Plaza. The majority of people in the park cooperated with the police. Some of the tents were found housing urine-soaked bedding, bottles of urine, dead rats, and rat families. Once an inspection of the park is complete, the park will be open to the public. The Lance Armstrong doping investigation has been dropped. The Justice Department prosecutors said on Friday that they are closing a criminal investigation on Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong is a champion cyclist who has won the Tour de France 7 times. The Justice Department will not be filing charges for the use of performance-enhancing drugs. He was accused of use by other riders but never once failed a drug test. Mitt Romney won the Nevada caucuses. He won the Nevada caucuses on Saturday with 43% of the vote. In his victory speech, Romney declared that his attention will now primarily be on President Obama, rather than the other GOP candidates. Newt Gingrich, however, stated he will be in the race until the end and will remain to be competitive. Snow, snow, snow! A blanket of 39 inches of snow has engulfed most of Europe. The situation in Italy is the worst it's been since 1956, with ambulances not being able to drive and villagers not being able to get to their livestock. A total of 34 people have died since January, and 19 national roads and 1 highway have been closed. Power outages have occurred in 200 cities and villages, and one of the busiest international airports, Heathrow Airport, has canceled half of its flights today. Veto against Syrian peace. After the United Nations Security Council failed to pass the plan to stop the violence in Syria because of Russia's and China's vetoes, the death toll between the government and civilians has escalated. 31 people, including 5 children, have been killed in the violence. Russia's foreign minister is scheduled to meet with Bashar al-Assad this week. While Syria says that the country has been targeted and the crisis is manufactured, Hillary Clinton, the Secretary of State, said that what happened yesterday at the United Nations was a travesty, saying that the veto left the world faced with a neutered Security Council. Developments on the Iran situation. The U.S. Defense Secretary Leon Panetta fears Israel might strike Iran in the spring, and if this prediction is true, the consequences would affect the United States. Israel's Ehud Barak says Iran's nuclear program must be stopped. Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, put out a warning on Friday saying that war could be detrimental to the United States, along with saying that they would be willing to help anyone who fights Israel. The general opinion on recent reports has been that Washington needs to step up and put more emphasis on its threats. Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, the son of Libya's deposed leader Muammar Gaddafi, will be going on trial within weeks or months. It has been said by the minister that Saif al-Islam will be allowed to have a lawyer if he asks for one. Military trials of Gaddafi supporters will begin in Benghazi. The Interior Minister says there is no systematic torture in Libya. Questionings of Muammar Gaddafi could also be looked into and completed soon.